All right, okay, so match week 2 is now over. Well, not officially over. We still got one more match tomorrow, but what a dramatic finish we just had in today's match. Before we get into that, let's get into the rest of match week 1. So this is match week 2. So this is match week 2 reactions. I did this last week, and here we go again with match week 2. So the first match I want to get into is Arsenal versus Leicester. Arsenal dominated from the first minute. I thought Leicester were actually quite lucky to be staying in the match for some of it. Arsenal ended up scoring an own goal, and then James Maddison was able to squeeze one right in between Ramsdale's legs. But other than that, Arsenal were dominant, and they were quick to shut that shit down from Leicester. Yeah, they made a few mistakes that cost them a few goals, but they responded quickly, and it was very impressive, right? Gabriel Jesus with that very, very impressive chip for his first goal. He then got a tap in for a second goal. He ended up getting an assist, and then Martinelli with the sublime finish for the fourth goal, bottom corner. It was a beautiful game to watch, especially from Arsenal. They were very impressive, and yeah, just a fantastic, very sharp side right now. A few things that they need to sharpen up a bit, though. You know, in bigger matches, you can't be conceding those 2 goals, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. The only thing I do worry for Arsenal going deeper into the season is I feel like they need a few more players to get more depth in the squad. I feel like their lack of depth in the team could possibly cost them later on to the season, but as of right now, they're looking very, very good, very, very sharp. So good stuff from Arsenal here. The next match I would like to touch on is Wolves versus Fulham. I'm sure both teams could be disappointed that they didn't end up getting the 3 points. You know, Wolves with a few big chances in the first half from Neto that he probably should have done better, but just didn't get it. For Fulham in the second half, you know, they started piling on the pressure. They even won themselves PK. But unfortunately for them, Mitrovic wasn't able to step up to the plate this time, and he ended up missing his PK. So I know both teams are happy with the point, especially Fulham, you know, because they now have 4 points out of 6. But I know both teams are disappointed that they didn't get the full 3. But good stuff from Fulham, a great start, and if they carry on this form, they won't have to worry about being relegated this season. So good stuff for Fulham, and for Wolves, you got to start stepping it up here because that's not it's only 1 point out of 6. So yeah. Now going into the next match, Leeds versus Southampton. Yet another team where I feel like they're probably a bit disappointed to not come out with the 3 points, but yet another team who's probably more than happy to have 4 out of 6, and I'm talking about Leeds here. Yes, they probably should have came out with the 3 points, especially after that brace from Rodrigo, which he kind of stole that second goal. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I believe it was going in even without him headering it in, but still a good brace for him. That first goal was a brilliant finish. But towards the end of the match, they kind of lost focus and they kind of fumbled the bag there, didn't they? I mean, Southampton were well out of it, but I mean, they kept fighting, they kept going, and they ended up getting 2 nice goals at the end of the match there. So as for Southampton, it is a bit worrying that I would say out of the 2 matches, 80% of the time, they looked very, very poor. And this squad is very, very young, and we're starting to see their lack of experience. So that is a bit worrying for Southampton, but they were able to fight hard at the end there, and they earned themselves a draw. So good stuff from Southampton, and good stuff from Leeds too to have 4 points out of 6. That's another team that, if they carry on this form, won't have to worry about being relegated. So yeah, we'll see how long they carry this on. Now for this next match, Brentford versus Manchester United. And first things first, let's just give Brentford their credit here. I know most people want to talk about how poor Manchester United were and how disgraceful that those set of players are, but let's just give Brentford their credit, because from the very first minute of the game, they were locked in and ready to go, right? They absolutely cave it to Man United. I mean, the intensity, and it wasn't just their intensity of the match, it was just the way they were playing, right? They looked very, very strong. Not only was the set of pace of the game they were setting too much for Man United, but technically they were too much for Man United. I mean, this Man United team has fell off so hard, but Brentford took every advantage that they could. I am a bit disappointed I didn't get a few more goals in the second half, but I'm sure after that stunning first half, they were probably in cruise control in the second half, just making sure that they didn't concede any. They won this match before it even started. Their mentality was going into this match was already way better than Man United's, and Man United was never going to win this match. I will say, I'm not surprised that Brentford got a win here, right? But I am surprised that they won by so much. I mean, Brentford had it in them to go to Manchester United and win. No doubt about that. But to go into this game and absolutely dominate like the way they did was very, very surprising. And yeah, we can talk about how poor Manchester United were and how 2 of those goals should never have happened. But we just got to give Brentford full praise here. They looked fantastic, and they're making me eat my words, right? I mean, if you watch my predictions video with my boy Emil, I actually predicted Brentford to have a flop season this year and actually be the new Sheffield, right? Sheffield came into the Prem. They had a very, very good year. I think they were in the top half in the table. But then that second year, they just weren't able to keep up. And I predicted Brentford to do the exact same, but they're making me eat my words and showing me every reason why that's not going to happen. So good stuff for Brentford here. Very impressed. Now, as for Manchester United, I don't necessarily if I even want to talk about it because it's just like we're just kind of beating a dead horse here. This team is at the absolute lowest of the low. I mean, they're literally the lowest of the low. They're 20th. They're in last place right now. That's all I really got to say, right? But there are a few things I do want to say about Manchester United. First off, those 11 players that played against Brentford yesterday should never start for Manchester United again. Maybe there's a few players that could come back, obviously like Cristiano Ronaldo. I know De Gea had a terrible day, but he at least owned up to it after the match. I mean, we see nothing from the other players, and not even the captain, right? De Gea's not even the captain, and he's over here taking full responsibility, while all the other players are just hanging their heads low, have their heads up their ass, and just and doing whatever they're doing on Twitter, right? So it's just shocking stuff. I mean, like even Ten Hag even said, I mean, if he could have, he would have substituted all of them if he could have. And honestly, if I'm going into this Liverpool match, what do you do? I'm really interested to see what Ten Hag does and if he has any respect for himself, right? Because these players are flat out spitting in his face. So if he has any respect for himself, there's going to be some drastic changes in that next lineup versus Liverpool. That's if he has respect for himself. But as we know with Man United and as we know with previous Man United managers, they don't typically seem to do that. So we'll have to wait and see for that one. But another thing I would like to say is that we have to stop looking at Manchester United as a top side, as a team that's going to go out and challenge, as a team that's going to go out and make top four, challenge for trophies, because it's just not going to happen anymore. This Man United side is average at best, even with the high quality players that they say they have. This team is, I mean, I don't even know who to compare them to, because I feel like it would be a disrespect to any other team in the Premier League to compare them to Manchester United, because at least the rest of the teams in the Prem have dignity and they have heart, and even though they may not be the best technically, they go out mostly every week and give it a good go, right? That's what I love about the Premier League, is that every team here fights. But I can't say that for Manchester United. They have all these top quality players, and we're seeing results like these, and to see them walking around with their heads low, giving this club absolutely nothing. I don't know what's going on. I've never seen a team's mentality be this bad. This is Sunday League stuff. This is amateur shit that they're doing here. There's no reason why they should be out here representing a Manchester United shirt. And I know there are rivals. This club does have a rich history, and the fact that they're going out representing like that, it's an embarrassment. And the only reason why it concerns me is because it kind of scares me going into the future, right? Like, I'm just praying and hoping that my club and team never acts like this. Like, I know there's going to be high and lows, right? Every club has them. I mean, they're not going to be, no team is going to be on top forever. But I just hope that even if my team's lacking quality, that they never go out and act like these Manchester United players have been acting for the past few seasons, because it's disgraceful. Yeah, I want to laugh. I laugh about it a little bit, but I'm starting to feel for these fans, because I'm a football fan first, right? I mean, Manchester City, I'm ride or die with Manchester City, but I'm a football fan first. So yes, I don't want Manchester United going out and succeeding much, but you do got to feel for these fans a bit, even if they are probably the dumbest fan base I've seen. There are a few true ones there, and I couldn't imagine what they're feeling right now. But yeah, that's all I'm really going to say about Man United. But actually, one more thing. We got to give Ole, Rangnick, and especially Mourinho some credit, because the fact that they were able to manage his team to achieve anything, well, not really Rangnick, but Ole, got second place with them, although it was a terrible year for all the other teams, still managed to get them second. And then Mourinho, for them to win the Europa League and then get second again with an actual competitive team, it's actually nuts, because as we're seeing, the manager has really nothing to do with it. I'm not saying Ten Hag's a great manager and is compared to the likes of Klopp, Pep, and Conte or Tuchel, but he's still a decent manager, much better than they've had, and he's still going out getting beat 4-0 by Brentford. So gotta give some credit to the other managers. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about Manchester United. Into the next match, I'm gonna briefly talk about Manchester City here, just because it is my team and it's the game I paid attention most. Just a typical 4-0 win versus Bournemouth. Nothing really special here. The only thing I will say is that again, I thought Manchester City were a little too possessive. As we've seen, Haaland only ended up touching the ball 8 times, and although he was being defended a lot, right? I mean, and it's only natural for that to happen when you have such a top quality striker. It's to be expected that teams are gonna, team up on him and try to take him out of the game as much as they can. But there were a few times that we could have played him through and we just didn't, right? I mean, Phil Foden had the obvious one. And I'm actually kind of disappointed with some Man City fans, the way they're really disrespecting Foden just because he didn't square it to Haaland. I mean, yeah, he should have, and it was selfish from him, but he made it up by getting an assist and a goal. So let's relax on our star boy here, because yes, we do want Haaland to succeed, but nothing to trip that hard about. But yeah, other than that, Manchester City played great, off to another great start. And they're looking good. Like, I think I would critique is that I want them to beat Haaland a little bit more, right? If we want him to get him going, and we don't want him to be a flop like everybody says he's going to be, then let's just feed him a little bit more, because we know what he can do. And if we give him the opportunity, he's going to take it. But yeah, great start for Manchester City here. As for Bournemouth, all I would say is that it's good that they won their last game, because, yeah, obviously this game, they weren't really ever going to get anything out of it. But yeah, but now into the final match that everybody is talking about right now. The London Derby, Chelsea versus Spurs. God, what a dramatic finish we had there, and just what an intense match it was. I mean, the fight between Conte and Tuchel is very interesting. I'm making this video now, so I haven't really read the reports after and what they're saying, but you know damn well that's what I'm going to do right after I'm done with this video, is check what they're saying. But the fight between them was nuts, and then the drama with VAR yet again. But let's talk about the match first. So first half, Chelsea absolutely dominated. They didn't create too many crazy chances, but they were definitely in control of the match. I mean, I thought Spurs were very uninspiring, had nothing going forward, and Chelsea were just dominating possession. And I know possession doesn't mean anything without creating chances and getting goals, but they did end up getting a goal off the corner. They were in complete control. Now into the second half, it was more of the same. Only reason why Spurs got something out of this match is because of 2 poor calls, I would say, from the ref. First goal, I don't know how I'm necessarily feeling about it. It was definitely a foul on Havertz, right? Referees do miss some fouls, right? They aren't perfect. They do miss some things. But what I do have a question is, according to the rules, where is the mark off for being able to disallow a goal after a foul has happened? Because it's not like Spurs went out and scored immediately after that foul. It wasn't the first counter they had. They took the ball up, kind of pinged it around. I think Chelsea did end up having possession for a little bit, maybe just clearing it or something like that. And then obviously we've seen what happened in the box. It deflected off a Spurs player, and then Højbjerg beautifully takes it, hits it into the bottom corner. The play ended up dragging off for a minute, maybe even 2 minutes. That's my only question, is where's the cutoff? Because obviously if Spurs would have scored immediately after that, like let's say the next 4 passes, like the next through ball down, they go out and score, obviously that goal probably would have been disallowed. But since it's dragged on, that's the reason why the goals stand. And my only question is, where is the cutoff? Because I feel like that has to be clear. I feel like there has to be one. Otherwise, we're going to get controversial goals and calls just like this. But then Chelsea ended up responding quickly. A nice goal from Reece James, making it 2-1. Then again, I thought Chelsea were in full control. I thought they were just going to end up cruising to the end of the game. But then we get some more drama and stoppage time. A corner goal from Spurs ended up scamming another goal and scamming yet another result. Typical Spurs, right? But this second goal definitely shouldn't have standing, right? That first goal, it's controversial, but like I said, we just don't know when the cutoff is. Spurs definitely didn't deserve it, but you also can't blame Spurs for that first goal. But for the second goal, how did VAR not get involved? It was an obvious hair pull, obviously booking, and they checked it and saw no problem with it. Game carries on. Spurs take the corner and they get the second goal. Chelsea definitely got screwed over here. Yeah, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would definitely be pissed. But as a neutral, this was a fantastic game to watch, right? I mean, it's everything I predicted. We got to give me some credit here, because if you watch my predictions video, I predicted a 2-2 win. I mean, a 2-2 draw. And I predicted there to be drama. I predicted it to be very intense, and that's exactly what we got. So as a neutral, It was a very fun game to watch, to see the two coaches end up almost getting into a fist fight. It was definitely a watch. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be disappointed. And going forward, it is going to be a concern because VAR continues to be very inconsistent and very crap. But yeah, other than that, that's the end of match week 2. We got a game tomorrow, so if anything crazy happens in tomorrow's match, I'll definitely make a video over it. But I just thought so much happened already that I just wanted to tell you guys my thoughts. But yeah, other than that, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Did you guys enjoy that London derby? It definitely lived up to expectations. Even if I didn't talk about your team, like I said in my last video, go ahead and let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought. Other than that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next week.